afternoon, Flosstube. This is Michelle at the Striped Rose, and today is September 11th, 2020. And I am just going to do a pretty quick video because it's really hot down here. And I just grabbed some things. They're not in any order. I'm just going to grab them off the stack and tell you what I've been working on. We are, okay. The first thing that I'm working on is from either last year or from 2 years ago, and it's this Prairie Schooler. This is an old one, cardstock, Trick or Treat. I've changed a couple of the colors. I used a variegated orange and a variegated black for the 844 and a very slightly variegated green. I use the 632 in the house because that's one of my favorites. So I know that there's a spring and a winter. There may also be a summer. I can't remember. And I think now you can buy I think there are 4. Now you can buy all 4. So I'm just doing this on a piece of light mocha. It's Zweigart light mocha, which is just my absolute favorite standby. And I don't know why it's just dragging right now. I can't seem to make any headway on this, but I really want to finish it up. That's the first fall seasonal finish that I want to focus on. I started one of the European reproduction samplers. I've got a couple of them and I want more. I started Anna Ronica, and in the center it says God protect you, and that's what really drew me to this piece. I'm on a binge for red and white samplers. You know, I want a red and white wall, and this one jumped out at me. I have a lot of French patterns, and now I'm starting to get some German patterns. On one of the floss tubes that I was watching recently, she was talking about whether or not to put, I think it was Colorado Stitcher. She was talking about whether or not to put your name on a reproduction sampler or the girl's name that originally did the sampler. And she was asking people what they did, and I just do whatever I feel like doing at the time. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason to it. Some things, it looks really simple to change and put my information in, and then I do it. And sometimes I feel like the name is really a part of the piece, and that's how I feel about the red and white schoolgirl samplers. I feel like the girl's name is really part of the design. I want a wall of just red and white schoolgirl samplers, and I don't want every single one of them on that wall to have my name. This one has particularly Germanic looking letters. It's got a German phrase on it. My name is an American, English, Scottish name. That really wouldn't look right on a very Germanic looking sampler. And that's how I feel about some of the French ones too. It's the girls' names that I'm drawn to. And maybe that's because, maybe the difference for me, because I'm an American, English, British Isles heritage. So when I see a sampler from the British Isles, the names are similar to mine, similar to ones that are in my family. But when I see a German sampler or a French sampler, it's something different to me, and that I really want to carry on as part of the design. So this one again, this one is the first time I think that I stitched on the Legacy linens. This is Russian Tea Cake, which is a 37 count. And I'm stitching it with the red, one of the reds I had left over from Victoria Motto Sampler, the 'Tis the Season, the Blackbird Designs Cardinal Sampler. And I really, really like that red. I went a little crazy during COVID, and got a lot of project bags, and most of them are by Creative Carol on Etsy. Carol is with a C, but Creative is with a K. The cat is staring at me and judging me while I do this. I don't mind that my husband's in the living room, in the kitchen making coffee. He's not really paying attention, but the cat's staring me down. Now, this is the small sized bag, and this is fabric that I sent. This is French General fabric, I think. And I'll show you a couple other of my bags. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you about this sampler is, just poked a needle through the plastic. That's the first time I've done that. I decided that I was going to do 2 red threads a day on this piece. And it's progressing really well. I can't remember what day I started it. Well, I could tell you by flipping the page. It looks like I started it on the 20th of August. So I've been working on it for less than a month, and that's 2 red threads a day. I've actually started the past couple days doing 3 red threads a day because I have another sampler that I'll show you that I was also doing 2 red threads a day, and that got to be too much. It just got to be too much. This is another Creative Carol bag. This is one that she has in her shop. This was not my fabric. And this, I think, is my favorite one. I'm sorry, it's got thread wound up in the zipper, and I'm going to try to salvage it. So, the Grinch. I'm definitely the Grinch a lot during Christmas. I love Christmas. I love baby Jesus in the manger. I love going to church with my family on Christmas Eve and singing all the carols. I love being with my family, but the craziness, the hectic aspect of Christmas, I'm a complete and total Grinch. So I'm using this bag for an exciting project. I want to make for my mom all the Prairie Schooler Santas. And I realized if I did for a year, that would take me like 10 years to do. So the first one I did this year, I think this is 1982. I think it's 1982. No, it's 1984 because I think it's one of the first couple. I did him. And then I did this one, and he's right around there. Dove is a last name, a maiden name, a last name on my mother's side of the family. A lot of my cousins and their children have little girls whose middle name is Dove. My dad didn't care for it, apparently. So I wanted to make sure there was a dove on the tree. And then we lived in Kansas for 4 years when I was in 4th through 7th grade, and we really enjoyed it a lot. And so I really wanted to do this one because I think of him as a Kansas sampler. And I am working on him. The next one I want to do, because I'm gonna shoot for 4 this year. The next one I want to do is the 1991. It's the Santa with all the fruit, and I just think that's really. I wonder if I can salvage that thread. I think that's really a beautiful one. All right. The next one is in a Creative Carol bag. And by next, I mean next in the pile, not next that I worked on or anything like that. I got this one after I saw it on Stitching with the Housewives. I loved it. I planted, I can't remember how many packs of zinnias. There's her name. There we go. I can't remember how many packs of zinnias that I planted. And I planted them over a period of several weeks, and not one came up. This is the summer, autumn, and winter, and I don't really care that there's not summer, autumn, winter. I don't care that one of the seasons is missing, but doesn't really do anything for me. And here I am. I think this is platinum. And I'm using mostly the called for colors, except one of the greens I thought was ugly. Okay, Piney Woods has changed. And so I changed it to Classic Colorworks Pine Needles. And I'm really happy about that change. So I'm just starting on that strawberry right there. Where is the kitten? So I can show him how Loki's grown since June. Okay. So I'm working on that as and when. Here's the chart for the next one, autumn. I do have winter, but I really want to get into this one. Okay, so the last video, we had just gotten a new kitten. We got him on Bella's birthday on June 15th. We named him Loki, and he is humongous now. He is humongous. If you've seen him on Instagram, you've seen him. He has some bat wings that sometimes he likes to wear, or not. He's a good schmoopy pie. Are you a good schmoopy pie? He has a little priest collar. So we can make all our Catholic puns. And okay. And there we go. Okay. This is going really, really quickly because this was my first Creative Carol bag that I fell in love with. This was her fabric. I really, really liked all the flowers, and I got it for my birthday. And I don't have the cover to G Leisure, but this is the one that I am having all kinds of conundrums. It's on the mocha. The most recent thing I did was try Old Blue paint, and everybody is saying that they're using Old Blue paint, and I got a brand new skein because I actually didn't have one. And let me see if I can. I don't like it. Everything just looks too lilac-y to me. I finally found this pink that I like because I was having trouble with pinks looking lilac-y. And the two called for variegated, the silk and the overdyed cotton, are, they have large sections of beige in them. And this pink, which is Rose Petal by Classic Colorworks, doesn't have sections of beige, but it is a beigey pink. I think of it as like ballet shoes, ballet tights, that beigey pink. But that now looks lilac-y to me. That was something else that's coming out. But that looks lilac-y. And so, you know, I think I can't, I mean, I have got so many blues. This is not all the blues. I have tried so many blues. I think I'm going to use DMC 932. I don't know if I put it in here. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm working, some of my letters I'm making cranberry, and some of them I'm doing in the Buckeye Scarlet. I need to cut this down. I can't find a brown that I like. I think I have either a Swiss chocolate or a German chocolate or a dark chocolate, but I can't find it. So I ordered a Dinky Dyes Ironwood, and I'm going to see if that helps. I tried to make a thread keep a la Farm Girl Stitcher. This is Marie Antoinette. But it came out of a Great Courses magazine catalog, and it looks kind of funny. But this is Civil War Tears, which is absolutely beautiful. It didn't work. Gloriana Blue Heron was the called for. It just looked lilac-y. Liberty was the overdyed cotton called for. It looked lilac-y. Oh, I don't even see the Old Blue paint because I've already chunked it out of this bag because it's just not going to happen. So I'm going to try 932 and see what happens. And then hopefully I can get a brown together. This is a bag, this is Mary Rose on Instagram. Let me get this out of here. This is, I don't know if this is a French General fabric or if it's the Gira Brandevig, the lady that does the Quilting in the Rain, that does Quilt As You Go Made Modern. I don't know if that's the fabric. My Lady, Creations by Mary Rose on Etsy. I just thought that was beautiful fabric. This is Eleanor Whitehouse, and this is in Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly Fall 2013. There's also this sampler. You can see this. Tanya Brockemeyer, the Scarlet House, has done this, and she has it on her wall. You can see it on her Instagram, or if you look at Carolyn Stash Sisters tour of Tanya's home, you can see this one. I think she did it over 46. I used DMC, and I changed my DMCs, and I can tell you what those are if you want to know that. They were just a little bright for me. I was doing 2 red threads a day on this, and there's, I think, 8.5 lines of red, and then 6 lines of the charcoal, and then there's a little border, the little guys down there to go. So it's easy to do 2 or 3 red threads a day when it's words, because you're not switching colors a lot like you are up here. And these are my DMC colors. I kept the green and I kept the purple, and I've changed all the others. I've changed the 2 blues and the 2 golds. That's probably 3865. I changed my red from 815 to 498. It wasn't a big change. I mean, it's not a big difference. It's just I have lots of 498. These are supposed to be eyelets going across, and I decided I wasn't doing eyelets going all the way across. I was going to do Smyrna stitches, and then this alphabet is eyelet. I decided I wasn't going to do that, so I just started in Smyrna crosses, then forgot and started in eyelets. So I'm going to do every other set of letters will be Smyrna crosses for 2, and then because nothing's coming out. So it was just it just felt like a chore, you know, doing 2 red threads a day on the other one, and then 2 red threads a day on this one. It just felt like a chore, and I didn't want it to be a chore. So I'm just taking a little break from it. I was just going to flip through and show you what else is in this magazine. This one has some surface embroidery, so I'm a little intimidated by it, but it's beautiful. There's just some the one on the cover, and then some articles. I guess that's all that's in there. Okay. So that one, I'm not sure when it's coming back out, but I do want to finish it. All right. This is a bag that I got on Stash Unload or Stash Unloading. And I've gotten a couple on Stash Unload and Stash Unloading, and some of them are really inexpensive, and they're not as well made as Mary Rose bags or Creative Carol bags, but it's, you know, somebody's fairly good attempt, and I'm sorry, I keep shaking the table. Fairly good attempt, and the fabrics are beautiful, and they hold my work really well. So this is I think this is a Three Sisters fabric. And here's the inside. And there's not, I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. There's just, you know, some slight imperfections here and there. But, so I would say, you know, take a chance on people selling them on Stash Unload. Maybe these are some of their first attempts, and they're going to get better and better, and they may have online stores one day. So this is a crowd favorite, My Heart Can Rest, and you would think that I would just have it done. I changed this mossy, it was a really, really limey green. And so I changed it to a pea pod that I had. The problem is I've only got 2 pea pods. I only had 2 pea pods, and I'm using them in 1,000 Hills, and I'm starting to run out. So I ordered 2 more, and I realized that mine are very old. They still say Crescent Colors on them instead of Classic Colorworks. So you would think that I could just get this finished. And I'm going to put my grandmother's name. Her birth year is 1928. Her last name, her maiden name was Dove. Is Dove. She's 92. And I'm going to put her name, her maiden name, so like a birth sampler for her. And then I didn't bring over the birth sampler I'm doing for my other grandmother. But just fabulous, fabulous colors. So because I'm trying to conserve this pea pod, I did the leaves up here. I haven't done the leaves above. They're supposed to be pea pod, but I'm doing them in one of the other greens. The motif that goes in this corner and the motif here are done in pea pods. So that's holding me back a little because I think I need the extra pops of that brighter green. But I'm worried about using up all my vintage pea pod, my very vintage pea pod. The newer pea pod, it's still a pretty color. I still like it. It's just a lot brighter. It looks more like my mossy. And the older pea pods I've already moved back to 1,000 Hills. So I'd like to get that one done this year. Surely I can get that one done this year. The next one is in a Creative Carol bag. I love this bag. I love this fabric in here. I really, really do. Pumpkin pie. Jerry bought a pie crust. He wants a pumpkin pie. I love Thanksgiving. Okay, so what's in this bag right now? After I finish that Prairie Schooler Santa, I must finish my fall chalk that I started several years ago that I absolutely love. I must finish that. I must finish my Boo Jar. Are you laughing at me? It's not nice. That's not nice. Are you still eating the tops off all the muffins? We have talked about this. Nobody wants to eat the bottom of the muffin. I think that's a Seinfeld episode. Bella. She's 16 years old and still eats the tops off all the muffins. Pumpkin muffins. I love this, and I want to finish this. Then I want to finish a Mania Start from last year. Be Thankful. I wish I had done it on darker fabric. This is just my standard, but you can see how the white will show up. The white 3685 does show up pretty well. Oh, that's going to be a booger to get out. Does show up pretty well on light mocha. And then I've got some, let me roll this up, variegated whites as well, grits and khaki mocha. So I want to finish those 3 pumpkin designs, and they're all in my Thanksgiving bag. That's why I think the reason I love Thanksgiving so much is because it's like Christmas, because you get all the great food, you have all your family around you, but you don't have the hectic, I mean, it's already hectic at the end of November. I mean, it is already hectic, but you don't have the hectic getting gifts for everybody. And I'm not Scrooge. I want to give people gifts. It's just, it gets kind of crazy. It gets a little crazy. That made me sound like Scrooge. Maybe I am, I don't know. But I love Thanksgiving because it's just, is that it? No, that's Joshua Tree. So, what I want to do in October, I'll try to remember to link Cynthia Brew's video where she talks about the great pumpkin sow that she is doing with several other floss tubers. And there are prizes. You can just stitch pumpkins and tag it Great Pumpkin Sow. Or you can go to her future son-in-law's organization, Freedom Shield, which supports victims of human trafficking, and make a donation and send her a screenshot of your donation, and she'll enter you in into the drawing for some of the raffle prizes. It sounds like a really great organization, a really great cause, and we're all going to be stitching pumpkins anyway. So I will try to link you to her video. All right, the next thing, and I've been working on this a good bit. I'm on the 11th square of Blackbird Design Garden Club. Maybe I can finish it this weekend. And I've gotten really, really willy-nilly about which colors I grab, especially the greens. I'm just not too careful anymore. I just, the roof of that house is supposed to be green, and I'm not making it green. This one almost looks a little odd compared to the rest of them because it's a very, very pink square, and I thought about making the house blue. It's a very pink square, but I think it'll be okay. Nothing's coming out now. Just keep on going. This video may be under a half an hour. I haven't worked on anything from this bag. I love this fabric, but I wanted to show you what was in here, what Christmas things I need to finish. I want to do some ornaments. I've done a couple this year. I'll do one more Santa after I finish that third one. I really want to finish this. I don't know why I haven't. It's tiny. This is the God With Us sampler stitch along that Paulette did several years ago on her blog. And I'm doing the sampler 2, the second version, that's fuller, more full. And I don't know, I had this Kit's Cats Dinky Dyes thread, and I thought, what in the world? I mean, if you've ever seen it, it's like white and brown and gray, and I thought, what in the world am I ever going to use that on? And so I decided, well, I'm going to use it on these sheep. And I don't know how good of a decision that was, but it's staying in. So that's really pretty. I want to, oh, here it is. Kit's Cat. So I want to finish that. I don't know why I got so stalled out on, fortunate enough to have this book from my mother's stash. It has the cardinal. This is light mocha that I dyed a little more with Rit Tan. And the red is from Victoria Motto. The white, I think I just started using, it'd be nice if I had the, no idea. The white is just, that's the, all right, so I did go ahead and use the 2 Belle Soie Tortoiseshell and Attic Tea for the green. And I don't know what that yellow is because I had a lot of trouble deciding what it was, and I thought it was amber. Weeks Dye Works Amber is what I'm using for. And I've got the vanilla pudding in there, but I also have several skeins of 3865. I use this a lot. And so I may have, I wonder why. It might have been a little brighter than the vanilla pudding. So I've done the big old bird, except for that end of his feather there. So you'd think that I would just go ahead and finish that up. The other thing I have in here are 2 ornaments that I put in here wanting to do the hot chocolate. I got this on a Priscilla and Chelsea giveaway last year, I think. And then I wanted to do that one too. I want to do those for Christmas. So I'm not a total Scrooge or a total Grinch. I just don't like the hectic aspect of Christmas. of the Christmas season. That's not really Christmas. Okay. I got 2 more things to show you, and this will be my shortest video ever. My editor will be very excited about that. Okay, this was started back in the days when I blogged. I'm 47. I suddenly stopped blogging when I turned 40. I don't know. But this had, and I started blogging in 2007, and I stopped blogging, I don't know, that's a lot of math. But this was started a while back. And like I've said before, I don't know how Kitten Stitcher is getting all these sheepish designs and sheepish antiques charts. No, Kitty, we are not going to jump up and attack the umbrella. Sorry, that was the washer. Somebody's doing laundry. It's right above us. She is able to get a lot of sheepish antiques and sheepish designs charts. And this, I can't remember if I've seen Mary Tillinghast on her site or not. But it's very intimidating to me because this yellow and blue flowers here and here, the woman's hair and her arm and her waist are satin stitches, straight stitches, surface embroidery. So most of this was done years ago. Okay, so I did, this must be 28 or 32, and it's Zweigart, and I swear Zweigart used to be a thicker linen. I'm working on this little 1/1 butterfly. I've already done those 1/1 dogs. I've done her the bird 1/1. This house, these windows I filled in 1/1, except for that right there. I got to go back and figure that out. I have to put window panes, 1/1 window panes here. That's not, those aren't filled in. Those dogs aren't filled in. I tried years ago to do that yellow flower. I'm not pulling it out. So that's probably the way my flowers are going to look. There's a leaf here. This alphabet's 1/1. I put our initials. I did my maiden initial of T, and then Gerald, Isabella, and Mary Margaret. I decided to put Mary Tillinghast in this one. I was gonna make it mine, but I don't know. I just liked it. And I kind of like having the date on here. So this is an example of one where I did a hybrid. I'm putting all of her information, how she signed it, but I changed the initials, which must have been her family initials. I changed the initials to my family. So, and these palms, whatever these are, they were satin stitched, and I just went ahead and stitched them, cross stitched them. Look at those weird little legs. Aren't those weird? Anyway, so I'm really trying to finish this one up this year, and that will be a very old whip off the books and hopefully onto my wall. All right, one more, my grand finale. This is 1,000 Hills by Plum Street Samplers, which is one of the most beautiful charts. It's beautiful here, but the colors are just amazing. They absolutely glow. Now my grass looks a lot crazier, which is fine with me. My 2 pea pods that I'm using, actually one of them I saw, I've only got 1 pea pod in here. That's interesting. All right, so, I mean, the colors just glow. Those pinks just glow. And this again is light mocha, and the 3865 does show up on it. just doing little sections. I don't stitch usually every stitch with fancy floss. I don't have the patience for it, and my stitches don't look as neat. So I do little sections. So it looks very, I don't know, that's what it looks like. Following Brenda the Sampler Stitcher's advice, I bought, when I was at a needlework store this summer for the first time in like 15 years, I bought, I'm going to put it on a floss ring, I bought this Tudor Silk Antique Black. So it has a lot of variegation and a lot of bluish and grayish and brownish. I really like it. I bought that silk, the rest of the piece is done in over-dyed cottons, to do the considerable amount of 1/1 because it's thinner. It's thinner than DMC, and it does not make it painless, because I don't know how you would make 1/1 painless, but it does make it more doable on, the letters are really beautiful too. So I still want to get this finished this year. It's beautiful. It deserves to be finished, and deserves to have lots more people stitching it. I don't know. Maybe people are put off by all that 1/1. I want to do that little cheetah guy up there. I think that's funny. I guess he's like a mountain lion that would be a threat to the flocks, but he looks kind of like a cheetah. All right, and that's what I have been working on. That's what I am working on. I'm trying to get Garden Club finished. I want to get Mary Tillinghast finished. I really haven't gotten anything new. I brought one thing I got over here, but I don't see it now. Grim Gourds by Plum Street Samplers. I think I got it on Buy You Some Threads, which is the funniest cross-stitch shop name. Bayou, like a bayou in Louisiana or Mississippi. B-A-Y-O-U. Buy You Some Threads. I think that's hysterical. That's why I keep shopping there, because the name makes me crack up. Oh, the chart's name was Grim Gourds. I think it's a much older one by Paulette. But I really like it because I just like pumpkins. I like the pennies around it. So I may put that in my my Thanksgiving bag, and maybe I can start that during the pumpkin sale. So I'll try to put the Cynthia Brew video explaining her thought process behind the Great Pumpkin Sow and explaining more information about the Freedom Shield human trafficking rescuing organization, because I definitely want to participate in both donating to that and stitching pumpkins. I'm sorry that it was short. I know I really like long videos, but it's hot in here and I got overwhelmed. I wanted to show you some of the crochet things I've done. I wanted to show you some of the fake quilting things that I started, but I started getting overwhelmed by all the things I was going to have to collect and bring over here. So, short and sweet, and I will see you next time.